Hi, today we will be talking about Indigenous American art. I'm Anissa.
And I'm Angela.
And for Indigenous American art, while watching this video, remember that they share similar themes such as the importance of religion, status, and how the incorporation of nature is very prevalent. So we will start in the Templo Mayor. We are in the Aztec world. The Templo Mayor is located in the city of Tenochtitlan in Mexico City. It was positioned in the center of the Mexica capital and was told to be positioned in the center of the universe, the Axis Mundi. It is approximately 90 feet high and covered in stucco. The Templo Mayor has two main staircases, one dedicated to Huitzilopochtli and another dedicated to Tlaloc. Huitzilopochtli is the patron god of the Mexica, of the sun, warfare, and fire. Tlaloc is the god of the water and rain and is connected to agricultural fertility.
In the middle is the Huitzilopochtli temple. It is a sacrificial stone and figures decorating the stairs. The most famous object decorating the Huitzilopochtli temple is the Coyolxauhqui monolith. This is an 11-foot display of the female deity Coyolxauhqui. It was originally painted in bright orange and yellows and carved in low relief. It is also called Belle's Hair Cheeks. She is known naked with a sagging breast and a stretched belly, showing how she was a mother. Coyolxauhqui is shown as decapitated and her head and limbs are separated from her torso. Nakedness was a form of humiliation in the Mexica culture. This relief depicts the birth of the Mexica patron deity, Huitzilopochtli.
The story of the birth of Huitzilopochtli begins with her mother, Coatlicue, when she became pregnant and her daughter, Coyolxauhqui, became angry. So, along with her 400 brothers, they plotted to kill their mother. In that moment, Huitzilopochtli jumped out fully armed and clothed, ready to defend his mother on a mountain named Cotepec. Eventually, Huitzilopochtli defeated his sister, beheaded her, and threw her down a mountain. It is said that rituals performed here indicate this mountain symbolically represent Cotepec. People here offer gifts, dance, and eat tamales. War captives were said to have been sacrificed here as well.
At the top of the Templo Mayor is also a Tlaloc temple. At the top is a sculpture of male figure painted in blue and red. The sculpture is called a chacmon and is associated with the rain god Tlaloc. At the tops of the side of the temple are stone sculptures of two frogs. This is known as the altar of the frogs. Sacrifices offered here are water-related in relation to Tlaloc. Things like coral, shells, crocodile skeletons, and basils.
Today, the Templo Mayor. So sadly, after the Spanish conquest, the Templo Mayor was destroyed. So if you were to walk around today, you would be able to see excavated sites on the platforms.
Found in the Templo Mayor is one of the most famous ancient Mexican sculptures, the Aztec calendar stone, or the sunstone.
It is called the sunstone because it is a circular form and it shows rays coming out. It would have originally been painted and would have been placed on the ground. It is carved in basalt and was originally dedicated to the sun god. It reflects the Aztecs' understanding of time and space, being shown through wheels around wheels. It had two calendars, one with 365 days, and one sacred calendar with each week ruled by different gods. In the middle of the stone is the sun god Tonatiuh. While he is holding a human heart in each hand and his tongue was shown as a blade, it reflected the thirst for sacrifice. On the sides are ear spools, which are decorations that the Aztec elite would wear. He has clawed hands, which are said to be holding human hearts.
It shows the creation of the various eras or suns. The current is the fifth sun according to the sunstone. It is also called four movement. The shape Tonatiuh is a sign for Olin, which means movement, and there is also four dots around the Olin, which shows the four movement. The first sun is a jaguar, the second is wind, the third is death by rain or fire, and the fourth is water. An easy way to remember this, as Claudia once said, is that it is the four elements, but it begins with the jaguar. It depicts the four deaths. The glyphs represent the 20th Aztec days, and outside of the circle are rays of the sun with the largest four are pointing to the north, south, east, and west. Tenochtitlan was divided into four. The outside bands are two serpents, and they are associated with time and are shown to make time happen.
So for the next work of art, we have the Great Serpent Mound, and some important vocab before we begin will and this is something we will see in two works in this video, is solstice. And solstice is either of the two times in the years, summer or winter, when the sun reaches its highest or lowest points in the sky at noon, marked by the longest and the shortest days. And another word, which is only particular to this work of art, is effigy, which is a sculpture or model of a person, or in this work, it is an animal, a snake. So back to the art. The Great Serpent Mound is located in southern Ohio. This work is an effigy mound, a mound in the shape of animals.
This work is unique among the native North American earthworks as it runs 1,330 feet, which is also 1/4 of a mile. It is affiliated to the Fort Asian culture, who built other mounds in the vicinity, and they are associated with a village near the effigy stele. Although most mounds have a burial function, this one does not. It is most likely associated with sacred rituals and astronomical occurrences. One of the great things about this work is that its head aligns with the summer solstice, while the tail aligns with the winter solstice. It may be a connection to Halley's Comet, a stellar explosion which occurred 4 years before this work was created. There are various theories about what the ovular shape of the snake's head may represent. Some believe it is a snake opening its mouth to devour an egg. Others believe it may be the snake's eye.
A fun fact about the Great Serpent Mound is that it was recently submitted to the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization for inscription on the prestigious World Heritage List. If it is eventually inscribed on the World Heritage List later this decade, the Serpent Mound will join the ranks of the Pyramids of Egypt, the Great Wall of China, Pompeii, Stonehenge, and the Taj Mahal. Being on the World Heritage List would allow for elevation of local and international awareness about the site's value. It would also encourage communities to protect and invest in its preservation and increase tourism to its site.
Machu Picchu, the ruins of an Incan city. Located near the Inca capital of Cusco, near meaning a 3 days walk away, it is overlooking the Urubamba River, as Machu Picchu is elevated 3,000 feet. It was built as a royal estate for Pachacuti, the first Inca emperor, in the middle of the 15th century.
It was intended to be a place where the emperor and his family could host feasts, perform religious ceremonies, and administer the affairs of the empire. But the emperor and his family would only live there for part of the year in a separate compound southwest of the site, which shows his standalone royal status. Year-round, the Yanaconas, which are the people who would order others to come and work, and the Mitimais, the people that would come and work, would live there. Its location was chosen because of its proximity to Andean landscape like mountains, which were supposed to symbolize the spirits of ancestors.
It is composed of houses and terraces built by feeding individually carved stones together. While the terraces are not what we think of our terraces today, but essentially they are steps built into the side of the mountain like this. There are 16 stone channels that drain water out of structure or into fountains, and it is said that one fountain may have acted as a ritual bath for the emperor. There was much wood and thatch used for roofing. An important element are how the transept windows in each are trapezoidal.
Machu Picchu contains an observatory made up of a stone enclosure with windows above a cave structure. The observatory, also called the Temple of the Sun, is composed of an upper curved stone enclosure with windows and niches placed in it, and a cave beneath the structure with masonry additions that hold more niches. The main building of the construction was a typical Inca elite architecture. Buildings and the layout would highlight social divisions within the community. Stones were shaped to fit one another, to not look uniform. Each stone had a protruding side and a concave side that locked them with other stones but allowed for movement during earthquakes. Outward faces were always smooth.
Emperor lived to the southwest, further symbolizing his status as a ruler. The observatory is next to his residence, drawing connections between status, royal authority, ritual, and astronomy. The cave of the observatory may represent the Inca underworld. Machu Picchu contains many religious structures, a testament to the importance the Inca placed on religion and rituals. Incas would use rituals to reinforce their relationship with the supernatural forces of existing emperor. The emperor was very spiritually engaged and was the spiritual leader of his people and would perform rituals relating to supernatural forces at the site. Recreation of Inca myth, people would travel to Machu Picchu and feel connected to their ancestors who also made pilgrimages.
Machu Picchu could also be considered a residential area where the locals would live and go with their daily lives the whole year while the emperor and his family would go on vacation. Going back to the observatory, this is important because it emphasizes the relationships between the elites, religious rituals, and astronomical observations. Modifications made to it suggest that they were used to calculate the June solstice and other important constellations. Used for astronomy and studying the sky, people would often go to the high points of this building. It also emphasized the fact that Pachacuti claimed to be a descendant of the sun, which the Incas called the Inti. The Intihuatana, or a carved boulder, which means hitching post of the sun, used sun and shadows to tell the time, since religious rituals were very time-oriented. Used for astronomy and studying the sky, people went to the high points of the building. The transformation masks were an integral part of the Kwa culture and existed in multiple forms. They had the shape of an eagle, thus they had a large beak, and they were brightly colored, and its hair was made of string. The masks would have elements of form, line, style, a typical art feature to art in the northwest coast of North America. They are bilaterally symmetrical when opened, and they incorporate the use of many calligraphic lines, and the oval shapes of the eyes are some elements often found in northern indigenous American art. The mask is equipped with cords that the dancer would pull and open in the form that seems like a bird spreading its wings. Masks would have taken months or even years to make. After colonization from European carving technique changed because new tools and brighter synthetic colors were introduced. As the mask would open, it would live up to its name and transform from an eagle to a person.
Masks were worn during dance ceremonies with a cloak made of red cedar bark. This ritual will take place during potluck, a ceremony in which wealth and status were displayed. Wealth was seen as how much you can give away to your community. Potluck was eventually banned by the United States government. Potluck was a ceremony from the Kwakwili people. They were a community based on fishing, where the man would hunt and the woman would gather fruits and berries. Weaving and woodwork were also activities within the community. Society is organized into communities, which are then organized into family units, loosely patriarchal ancestry called Namina, one of a kind, but are bilineal, which means ancestry could also be traced through the mother's side. Largely barter and trade economy later became loosely a currency based on with wool blankets as a currency.
The mask portrayed family genealogy, which would contain family crests and were passed between family members of a clan. The human face would be of an ancestor, which would create a powerful and meaningful effect during ceremonies. Religious beliefs have commonalities across Kwa society. Thunderbird, which is an important deity, creature, and spirit across many indigenous peoples. It will embody the polytheistic religion of several deities and spirits, and they believe the deceased ancestors were present around them during the ceremony.
The elk hide painting attributed by Cosiago is a representation of the long-standing tradition of the Great Basin and Great Plains people of the United States to paint on animal hides. Cosiago used pigment and a combination of freehand penciling while using a stencil. Cosiago was a member of the Eastern Shoshone tribe. He is known for his numerous animal hide paintings on deer, elk, and buffalo using natural pigments such as chalk and red tree.
But the purpose was multifunctional, working for both the economic and cultural benefits of the Wind River Reservation. It led to an economic development because it created sales from white visitors and also led them to attend sun and wolf dances, in which they would also spend money. It is important as a cultural survival statement for the tribe, as it helped move the once antiquated and ancient tribe artwork into the modern world by making it increasingly contemporary. The elk hide combines contemporary tradition to the historical record of tribes. It displays important rituals like the sun dance and the wolf dance. The sun dance was especially ceremonial and used to honor deities.
The elk hide in itself depicts daily life on the Wyoming reservation, such as men hunting buffalo and horses and women sitting near fires at a campsite, teepee. The warriors are shown in feathered war headdresses to show their honor and importance. The idea of painting on animal hides is a long-lasting tradition in the Great Basin region of the U.S. And as said, it functioned to preserve history similar to the oral tradition of storytelling. The elk hide depicted daily life by showing animals such as horses and buffalo, which were especially important to livelihood, as buffalo was a source of food and horses were used during hunting.
In a time of economic devastation and intense poverty, on the Wind River Reservation in Wyoming, the elk hide was important and is because it kept both the culture and economy.